Today on GrowthShares, let's analyze and see whether Lucid Group is a great long-term investment. Lucid Group Inc. is an American electric vehicle manufacturer headquartered in Newark, California. Lucid was founded in 2007 under the name Atieva and originally focused on building electric vehicle batteries and powertrains for other vehicle manufacturers. The company rebranded as Lucid Motors in 2016 and officially announced its intent to develop an all-electric, high-performance luxury vehicle. In April 2022, the government of Saudi Arabia announced the purchase order of up to 100,000 electric vehicles from Lucid over a 10-year period. I've divided this analysis into three major factors: business, investment, and valuation. Each factor is then divided into 14 smaller metrics. Each of the three factors and their 14 metrics are given different weight, together adding to 100% of the analysis. They'll be graded on a scale from 0 to 10, with 0 being the worst and 10 being the best. When the analysis is complete, I'll give a final score. My analysis takes a long-term view of the company. That means years. Let's first look at the business. Everything starts with what the company actually does. It's more than just numbers on a spreadsheet. That's why 45% of the analysis depends on the business. Something that makes $1 billion a year might sound nice, but how is it using its resources to make that billion? Fortunately, that can be quantified. There are 8 metrics that I use to measure the business, and we'll dive into them right now. How much is the company growing? Lucid has a growth rate of 15.88%, giving us a score of 7. Is the company using its resources effectively? Lucid has margins of 0%, which means a score of 2. Is the company operating efficiently? Lucid has operations of 127.9, which means a score of 0. How is the company using its invested capital? Lucid has returns of negative 51.07%, which means a score of 0. How much debt does the company use? Lucid has utilization of 21.3, which means a score of 10. Does the company pay out a dividend? Lucid does not pay out a dividend, which means a score of 0. Does the company have good governance? Lucid has an ESG risk rating of 30.9, giving us a score of 3. How close is the company to a monopoly? Lucid has no market dominance, which means a score of 0. When we add up all 8 business metrics together, we get a score of 1.34. Next, let's look at the investment. This factor looks at the company solely as an investment, as if rendering the company down to just ticker symbols on the screen. That's why 22% of the analysis depends on its investment score. How are others seeing the company from a trader and analyst point of view? What are the numbers telling us when it comes to this? There are 5 metrics that I use to measure the investments, and we'll dive into them right now. How well has the company's stock performed? Lucid has a performance ratio of 7.3, which means a score of 10. How do traders see the company? Lucid has a range of negative 32.73%, which means a score of 0. Are investors betting against the stock? Lucid has a short interest of 8.23%, which means a score of 0. What do other analysts think of the company? Lucid has a buy recommendation of 42%, which means a score of 4. Do big firms own the company? Lucid has an ownership of 69.8%, which gives us a score of 9. When we add up all 5 investment metrics together, we get a score of 4.36. Finally, let's look at the valuation. Valuation is simple. It takes everything we've talked about and puts into a single number, the price at which we would be willing to buy the company's stock. That's why 33% of the analysis depends on its fair value price. At what price is the company worth pursuing? There's only one metric that I use to measure the valuation, and we'll dive into it right now. What is the most you should pay for the company? Lucid has a fair value price of $13.70 per share, which I consider to be expensive, which means a score of 0. As a refresher, here are all 14 metric scores. Finally, we'll add the 3 factors together to get the final score. Based on my complete analysis of Lucid Group, I give a final score of 1.56, which makes it a bad long-term investment. So you've made it this far. Shoot me an email. I'd love to get in touch with you and talk more. If you want to see me analyze more companies, hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, and share this video with other investors. And as always, take care of your money.